I think so many people are like, I want to be in business, but I don't want to be a social media manager, or I want to be in business and I want to grow an audience, but I like can't spend all day in the DMs. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited to bring an incredible guest here with us today. Holly Haynes, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm super looking forward to this. I feel like our paths have crossed in a couple of different ways over the last little bit, and now I get to share you and your brilliance with our community, which is going to be so much fun. So let's kick things off with a little rapid fire questions, if you'd like. Tell us the most used app on your phone.
It's actually probably my Notes app right now, which you're going to die. I have never used the Notes app in the history of having an iPhone, like ever. And one of
You just discovered it?
Yes, I use Google Keep, which is a really fun app. We were having a retreat at our house and my creative director was here and she has this like cool practice where like the end of each day, she like writes things down. And I was like, what are you doing? And she was doing it in her Notes app. And I was like, oh, it like categorizes it for you and you can search it. And she's like, have you never used the Notes app? Like, no, I haven't. So that's the most used app right now. It's like so basic, but I was like, wow, this is like a game changer. And I can share it with my husband. So like if we have joint lists, it's been really cool because like I'm the list taker in the house, maker. And so I'll share it with him and then it doesn't get lost. So that's what I've been doing.
I love this. This is so good. I'm coordinating a little field trip getaway with our Girl Scout troop, and they were all in planning mode, writing down all their ideas, and they totally did it in notes and then shared it with each other. And I was kind of like, oh, girls.
Well, everyone has the Notes app. It's not this like new piece of software that you have to download and try. And I was like,
it's terrible. It's perfect.
This is good. It's easy.
Everyone's going to go spend some time in their Notes app now. I love it. Okay, tell me one thing that you've said, nope, I'm not doing anymore in your business.
I'm currently on a posting break, which is actually pretty normal for me, but I have a very healthy relationship with social media, which we can talk about. But our clients don't come from social. And so I do it mainly for fun, or as like, I call it like the magazine cover. Like if you listen to this podcast and then you go on Instagram, you'll see something relevant, which is good. But just the season that we're in, I was like, I don't have time for this right now. And it's a bonus if I do it. So we're just going to turn it off for a minute.
I love that. Okay, we're definitely going to dive into that deeper because I think everyone listening is like, hold on. You're just putting a pause on social. We're going to need to dive into that more. I love that. Okay, and then just a fun, silly one. What emoji do you feel like you're overusing or using?
I use the one with the big eyes. The like surprise face, like where the eyes are like popping out. We were talking about this before we hit record. I have twin daughters who are 12 and they're in 6th grade right now. And I feel like anytime somebody asks me like how it's going, or my husband will text me and I'll just be like some crazy story about something they did. And then I'll just put this like eye emoji, like, please help me. Like,
please help me. I'm familiar with that emoji.
Middle school is wild. It's a wild time.
Too. I mean, you're like, you got double over there, which is crazy over here at our house. We just got one middle schooler for now.
2 girls is very interesting. We've learned a lot, but I've used that quite a bit.
My daughter just taught me, this episode's going to be titled like the things my 12-year-old taught me. But she just told me that like the crying, like the long tear crying emoji means that you're laughing, not like sobbing sad. And I guess I've been using it all wrong because I always use it when I'm like, this is terrible, like long crying tears. And she was like, no, Mom, that's like, ha, 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 I'm laughing so hard, I'm crying. And I was like, I thought that was the sideways, like little tear guy.
That's what I thought too. Oh, man, I'm probably using it wrong too.
I mean, the things that we learned. Oh, man. Okay. In all seriousness, Holly, give us a quick intro. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you've gone from corporate strategist to entrepreneur. you're doing so many things beautifully. And you've done it pretty quickly too. Like I was on your website looking at the timeline. I'm like, oh yeah, she's making some moves fast.
Yeah, we just updated that. I'm glad somebody read it.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
It's so cute. I love it. So, and there's a little bit of a network marketing twist in there too. So I want to hear just kind of where you started and where you're at today.
Yeah. So I officially started the business we have now in January of 2020. And I like to say that I teach business and marketing strategy, but with a life first focus. So we do it mainly through not relying on social media, which is why I shared that story I did at the beginning. And so a lot of people are like, huh, that's interesting. Tell me more. And so the reason I sort of went down this path, I did not start this path that way, but I was working in corporate full time. So I have a 22-year corporate strategy background, really dialing in with like customer experience, managing like really big teams, really big projects, like complicated projects, and making sure people got things done. And so when I had this idea of like, well, it'd be really fun if I did this for small businesses instead of like big companies all the time, I didn't have the opportunity or the time to be on social all the time. Like it just wouldn't work that way. And before 2020, I did dabble in network marketing, and it was in the time where that's all you were taught. You were taught that you had to post on Facebook 17 times a day with like every status of every phase of your day. And then you were taught that you had to be on Instagram. Thank God it's different now, but like you had to be on Instagram and post every single day. And I think the number was like, try to do like 60 stories a day. And I'm like, okay, I have 2 young girls at the time. They were like babies. Like this is impossible for me. And so I do feel like network marketing gave me like a taste of what it's like to have your own business and the camaraderie and the fun that went with it, if I'm being honest. And I was like, huh, this is interesting. Like I actually have a degree in business and a lot of experience. Like what if I took that and taught small business owners? And what if I could do it in a way that like really supported the schedule that I wanted? Because at the time I didn't have that schedule. And so I was like, what if I could teach a way that you could build a business where you could put your kids on the bus stop at the, pick them up at the bus stop. And at the time that was impossible. Or you could go to a field trip at, 10 a.m. in the middle of the day, or you could get new sales without posting 60 stories or whatever the thing is. Sure. And so I really leaned into that. And that's sort of how we got to where we are today.
That is incredible. So cool. I love it. And so many different levels. And as you're reflecting back on that, like posting 60 times a day or like,
I mean, I never did for the record.
No, I mean, I never did either. But I mean, there's still people that are coaching and training that way and saying that you you have to do that. And I'm with you on it, that it's like, no, there's a better way.
Better way. I mean, there's some cringe Facebook memories that pop up and I'm like, oh man, what was I doing?
Yeah. Probably right along the same lines of like, I'm going to message 35 people every single day.
Yeah, like I'm going to message 25 people happy birthday today. And I'm like, no.
Happy birthday. Oh my gosh. I'm having like terrible flashbacks.
Right? Don't do that.
Yes, just go to your birthday list and see and ask them how their year has been and what they're doing to celebrate that day. Oh yeah. No. Seen, been there, done that, seen that. Okay. So tell me a little bit about who you serve today and what programs you offer for that audience to kind of give everyone a catch up of what your business looks like today.
I like to help women. I have 2 main audiences. One is women who are in corporate who have experience like I did and are looking to say like, I want to do something different, or I want to just do something on the side. And it's really leaning into that corporate experience to build something that either gives back or gives them more joy or makes them feel more excited about what they're doing. Like the whole goal is like, we want to feel good about what we're doing every day. And I think one of the reasons that I got into business was I remember sitting in the car like, I can't do this schedule for the next 10 years or 20 years or whatever it is until I retire. Like, this is impossible. This is not how I want to live. And so there's sort of that side. And then there's another side of women who have an established business and they're like, I really want to do it differently, where I'm not relying on social media, where I do have people coming to me and I have systems and structure behind the scenes so that I can run a business like while my kids are at school, and then I can take the weekend off and I can have the evenings off, or I can travel, or whatever that looks like. And so the way that we do that mainly is through our signature program called Antisocial School, which actually came out. This is a fun fact. At the time that Taylor Swift came out with Anti-Hero, which I did not plan, but I just
ahead of the curve.
Watching that, I'm like, what a fun song for this program. But the goal is actually very social, and it really leans into networking and SEO. And this is why you and I connect so much, like having a really powerful website that does the work for you, funnels, emails, things that you can control, and being really strategic about how you talk about things when you do go to events, like how do you nurture people after that. And so that's usually where people start. We have a community that you can join called our Crush the Rush Club. And then we have a mastermind, which is a much more intensive process with our team.
I love it. Okay, so Antisocial School. I mean, first of all, I love the name of it. The name is so good. And I mean, blessed by Taylor Swift. So, you're good to go there.
It's got a theme song.
But I think it is so good because I think so many people are like, I want to be in business, but I don't want to be a social media manager. Or I want to be in business and I want to grow an audience, but I can't spend all day in the DMs or have this kind of love-hate relationship with social. And I mean, I'm in the same boat. I feel that way too, that social is one of the ways that we promote our business. It's not the only way and it's not the primary way, but it is a little bit of the piece of the puzzle. And it's always kind of on the to-do list and always there, oh, we got to make sure we look alive and we're putting things out there. I'd love to hear kind of in your own words, if somebody is coming to you and they're like, listen, Holly, I've built a business reliant on social media and I don't want to do that anymore, or I want to pivot. Where do you go from there? Because I think that gets a little tricky where it's well, there's lots of other options, but what are those options and how do we pick what's going to be the right one for us?
Yeah. So I like to say, and I think I said this already, antisocial framework is actually very social. And so our clients fall in two categories. One is they want to be on social media. They're good with social media. They have a team that does social media and they're fine with it. And so social media in that case is the plan B. We want it to be the second act. We don't want it to be the first act. So if you already have a social platform and it's working, I would never say step away unless you really wanted to. But we need to figure out that system that sits on top of it. So if it does go away or you want to take a break, it's there. Or we have clients that are I want nothing to do with it. I just don't want to be there.
Don't even put me on social.
Yeah, which is fine too. I always say it's your choice. So if you have a significant social presence, the question that I like to ask is where do your people hang out that's not Instagram? Because it's different for every single business. And I think what makes our program different is a lot of people will teach Pinterest and that's their answer. A lot of people will teach YouTube and that's their answer. But I want to know if you don't like speaking, then I'm not going to say start a podcast, because that would be horrible for you and you would never follow through with it and it wouldn't work. But if you really like writing as an example, then we would come up with a plan of okay, well, how do you take your audience on social and move them into this super exclusive newsletter that they can only get access to on your email list? So they're going to watch your stories and say, oh my gosh, I want to know what this thing is. And they're going to opt into this really fun story that you share once a week or something. And it's this private newsletter. I'm totally making this up, but it's, it's fun. It's you want to make it this this fun way that people can connect with you just off the platform. And so it's different for each person, but we're really big right now into SEO and blogging. I think, I don't remember the story that cauliflower is making a comeback, because cauliflower pizza was a whole thing. And then I think it's cottage cheese now, cottage cheese is having a moment. I'm blogging is having a moment. It is coming back. And it doesn't mean that people are reading the blogs. It means it sits on your website and it will be found through other platforms, right? It'll be found through ChatGPT or all these other search things. And so I would ask the question of where are your people hanging out? Are they going into ChatGPT and asking who do I hire to scale my business? Or are they asking what website platform is best for me? And figuring that out first.
I love that so much. And I love that blogging is having a moment because how often do we have conversations and people are like, blogging? Like, are
I
people still
know.
doing that? Like, is that like, I think we think of blogging and at least like in the early days of blogging, it was all like crafting or cooking or
Yeah.
home improvement projects. But I mean, blogging is really just a place to share your words, your videos, your images, and kind of do that on a regular basis. So it's new,
Mhm.
fresh content that you're putting out there, which I think is such a great place to play. And then I think the question is, okay, if I'm not on social, if I'm not hanging out there, I'm not planning on building, or at least plan A is not on social. What are some of those strategies to get in front of more people and to build that audience? We all know the importance of building an email list and getting people to your website and getting them on that email list. But
Yeah.
I think that's a question that comes up so often is like, well, I could blog all day, but like, who's going to read it?
Yeah.
So, any ideas there on just different strategies to utilize to get more eyeballs on the content that you're working to create on your own platform?
Yeah, I mean, I think in 2026, something that has come up for me is this theory of like micro partnerships. I just
Yes.
love the word micro. And I think it's like taking what we've done before and making it like super, super intentional. So, like, I'll
Yeah.
give the example of you and I. You
Yeah.
sponsored a workshop that we did at the end of the year. I would call this a micro relationship. So every time that
Mhm.
and I say sponsored, like we did a swap, but like
Yeah.
anytime that we talked about this workshop, we talked about you and what you did
Mhm.
and your website platform. And then on the flip side, like you can share something that we did or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I feel like these like very intentional partnerships is
Mhm.
what has moved the needle the most for us. And when I tell people that, they're like, "Are you serious? Like that's it?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, but you have to be so intentional." And so like I think the reason why we connected so well is like I'm obsessed with like having a home base, a website. I'm obsessed with
Yeah.
blogging and SEO, and those are things that you talk about, and we do very different things, but our
Yeah.
hopefully our audiences are like, "Yes, I want Becky and
Totally.
Holly in my life," right?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
we have found those like really micro partnerships are
Yeah.
what has worked the best. You can also take
Mhm.
it on like a local level. So we actually have a quarterly planner. I
Uh-huh.
like to call it my passion project. Like I always forget to talk about it, but it's actually really cool. And
Yeah.
one of the things that we did is when we launched the new covers, we did like
Mhm.
a local workshop and we partnered with a local boutique and we had like a shopping event and there were different vendors there from like all over. I live in Columbus, Ohio, all over Columbus. And it was a
Mhm.
way for like, okay, this business has this network. I have this network. This other business has this other network. And then they all come together in person and we all got to
Yes.
meet each other. And then like 3 to 6 months later, they're like, "Oh, Holly, I met you at this event. Like, I would love to learn more about Antisocial School or whatever." And
Yeah.
so I think it's really simple and thinking about like, what is a really fun partnership that you can come up
Mhm.
with that's going to truly benefit both audiences. But then going back to your question, once you have that, like what happens when they enter your world? And I think a lot of people
Yeah.
skip that. Like they have a really, I'll just say basic lead magnet. Like I think we're
Mhm.
over the PDFs and the things like that. Like I want the lead magnet to like wow you. Like I want you to
Mhm.
download it and be like, "Oh my gosh, like I can't believe that I listened to this podcast and then she gave me this resource and like I actually got a win from it and like tell me
Yeah.
more." And so I think that's like how you can really stand out.
Oh, I love this so much on so many levels. But just to highlight one thing you said there around these like micro partnerships or collabs, I think especially in the direct selling world, where many of our listeners probably kind of like grew up in a party plan type company,
Yeah.
that was really like a group selling effort. And it was essentially a collab. And I think sometimes we think a collaboration has to be like, we signed a contract and you're doing this and I'm doing that. And
Yeah.
it's this formal, like big old thing that takes months and months to throw together. And it's not like you can
Mm-mm.
put something like that together really quickly. And to kind of equate it to the party plan world, it is like your host is
Mhm.
introducing you to their people in the same way that like Holly is introducing Oh My Hi to her people at her holiday mixer. So I think it's just like a more modern and
Mhm.
effective way to collaborate. And it doesn't have to be a party necessarily. It could be a workshop, it could be a class, it could be a sponsorship,
Yeah.
it could be a giveaway. There's so many different things that you can do. But at the heart of it, it's people, it's relationships, it's networking. And I think there's such a huge opportunity there that we don't even think about because we're in like our, one lane of thinking, like we've always been taught to do it this way. And this is the way to do it. Well, hold on. Like, what if we kind of flip that around a little bit and think a bit broader? So
yeah. And like, I always like to set a goal. So I'm like, okay, could I do like one micro partnership a month? So like right now we have like a micro partnership with like someone is sponsoring our newsletter. I'm sponsoring their newsletter. So like every week, like it's just this little snippet, but I know that their audience is aligned with me, and vice versa. And once they opt in, then they're like, oh, Becky referred me to Holly. Like I trust Becky, so I'm going to trust Holly. And we're sort of like skipping the like trust building piece, which is why I think it works faster than some of the traditional methods. The traditional methods still work, but this has just been kind of fun.
I think it's super fun. And it is. It's kind of like, oh, I'm vouching for them. Like they're cool. Like I'm putting you in front of my people, that and vice versa. So I think that's a great way to kind of maybe reframe things or challenge everyone. Like what kind of micro partnership can you create in the next month and not hold yourself to like, oh, I'm going to do this sometime in 2026. But like, what can you do pretty quickly? Because I'm sure there's people that are already in your warm network that would love to partner with you where you share that audience and that passion. Okay, so switching gears slightly here.
Yeah.
But you talk a lot about this life first business model or approach to business, which I think is so awesome. And I know that you get a lot of work done in a few hours a week.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, give me the secret. What is the secret recipe here? What does it mean to have a life first business? And if somebody's listening being like, I'm working 100 hours a week, I'm working 60 hours a week, I'm working day and night 24/7 on my business, how can we maybe pull that back a little bit? And so we can still scale our business, but not be constantly on in our business.
Yeah. So, I mean, this framework came out of necessity because I was working in corporate for the C-suite and building a business. And I had, 2 twin kindergartners. And I was just like, whoa, like, I don't have a ton of time. I maybe have an hour a day to like get started on things. So like, we've got to figure out a way to stay really hyper focused on like, what are these like moving tasks? So the first thing I would say is more work doesn't necessarily mean more wins, right? And so before you do anything, I always like to do a really quick time audit of like, what are things that I'm doing on my plate that I can just like immediately get rid of? And this is not new, but a reminder, it's like do, delegate, delete, or defer. So write down everything you do. Most of the things, 99.9% of the things somebody else can do. It might be really hard for you to let go of it, but you don't have to. And that's just like a little bit of a reframe. But the other thing that I like to talk about is what I call my CEO week strategy. And this is, again, the most simple tip, but you're going to remember it. And that is I created themes for each day of the week based on like the needle moving tasks that I had to do in my business. So as an example, Monday might be content day. And it's, again, so basic. But if I only have an hour, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to write my emails and I'm going to write my blog post. And that's all I'm going to do today because I have 17 other things that I have to do. And if I think about something that I need to do for my podcast, I'm not going to do it because Wednesday is podcast day. And so I sat down and I said, okay, like what are the themes that I need in my business to like move the needle this month? And so, I mean, there's usually a content day. There's definitely a podcast day, which is, I still use these themes like to date. I only do client calls on certain days. And I found that like if I tried to do a podcast interview and then go to a client call and then sit down and write content, like my brain is just like, oh my God, I can't. Like,
I feel you.
You should be like, there's no way. And so if it's like, okay, I know Monday is content day. I have 2 hours. I'm going to get as much done as I can. If I think of other ideas, I know I'll come back to it next Monday. Tuesday is client day. If I have clients or there's follow-ups I need to do, if there's anything client related, I'm going to do it during this time frame. Wednesday's podcast day. If you're updating your website, you could have a website day. Like we know that like website updates are never ending. So it's like, okay, every Thursday from 10 to 12 is website day. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to do as much as I can. And then I am going to move on. And I found that I would just make more progress faster because I wasn't getting overwhelmed of like, oh, I got to write this podcast and update this website and create this blog post and write this email. And it just felt too much.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so certain days of the week for certain activities. And then are you time blocking?
I do time block
a little
pretty
bit? Yeah.
consistently. I technically at the end of each day, so 4 or 5 o'clock, whenever my day ends, I'll sit down and I'll strategically plan out the next day. And I do it like down to the hour of like,
Yeah.
what time am I getting up? Do I have to take a shower? Are we washing our hair? Like I have to know these things, right? Because if I have a podcast interview, like I'm not going to show up with like a greasy ponytail. Like we're actually going to pull ourselves together. So like it's super important to think through that. But then that's where the theme days come in, because if it's like a deep work content day, then I know like, hey, I could take a shower at 3 o'clock if I want to, like whatever that looks like.
I love it. So, so good. I know that you've kind of already shared this a little bit, but when you're thinking about systems and you're thinking about simplifying, I think it's kind of the theme I heard there. Like, what do you really need to be doing? What can you pass off to somebody else? How can you get your work done in 10 hours a week or 20 hours a week or whatever you choose is the ideal amount of time you want to be on your business? What system do you feel like every entrepreneur needs maybe like yesterday? Is there a system or a tool that you're like,
okay, I'm going to give you two because I think they're both really important in this phase of business we're in. The first one is I feel like you have to have a signature lead magnet and program that you're known for that does the work for you. And what I mean is you can go talk on a podcast and then they can come find you. And then the emails like match what you talked about. There's some nurturing, and then it goes to like whatever the thing is that you are selling, which means you don't have to do anything except that like top of funnel introduction to the world kind of thing, which takes a lot of pressure off and saves a lot of time. And then we've really been leaning into like a follow-up process. And I hate saying the word follow-up because I feel like I do have like network marketing backlash. So I need to come up with like another word. But it's so important because I think we're just in a place in the economy, like people want to hear from you. They want to know that you're like a real human and it's not a chat bot, and that you are present and doing the things that you said you were going to do. And so I think like really dialing that process in has helped us and our clients quite a bit.
Yeah, I love that. I love that one, follow up. And I always joke because in our community, we talk a lot about following up, where you start a conversation and you lose track and you come back to people, or they placed one order. Did they come back and place that second order? I don't think anyone loves follow up.
No,
like, no, nobody's like, that's my jam.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, ooh, yeah. Like I got a little bit of work to do in the follow up department, but I think that's so true. And I don't know about you, but my inbox is full of like chat bot, I don't even know what to call them, like scammy emails. And lately everyone wants to offer me like a line of credit, and everyone wants to offer me like all these like weird things that just, I get one about like cleaning our office. I'm like, my office is attached.
I got one of those. I was like, I don't really have an office at home.
But yeah, like I'd love for you to clean my office, but like this is not like an industrial building that, but those ones you can tell like it's scripted. It's like, every 2 days you're getting like checking back in, Holly, like, did this get lost in your inbox? And so I do think that while that has been automated in like an icky way, there is a very thoughtful and human way of doing follow-up where people are like, wow, like that. I just ordered skincare from somebody and she sent me a video and walked me through the steps of using the new product I bought. And it was like fed like a video with my name
with
in it,
your name. Like, I mean, anytime you can customize it with a video, or like we do a lot of like audits behind the scenes. I'll be like, hey, I saw you were interested in this. Like, let me just show you how it can help you. And I'll like go in and do a video and show you. And I'm like, either way, I hope this is helpful. Like that. And people are just blown away because I think it's
like, that was really
so different. Yeah. They're like, you actually responded. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So good. Okay. As we're wrapping up, what's something you're obsessed with learning right now? Is there something that you're working on learning?
Okay. So last year at this time, I was really into figuring out how to create custom GPTs, which we did. And I kind of feel like everyone has custom GPTs now. So I'm glad we got ahead of it, and ours are great. But I feel like there's this like next level of AI that I just don't know a lot about. And so I'm in this like AI community and I'm just like soaking it in of like, okay, well, what's like the next thing that you can do? And I feel like we're in this phase where I think as a woman business owner, like feeling comfortable with technology is really important. And so that's what I'm trying to lean into. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I want to understand it.
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, we could have a whole another episode on AI, but I do think that there is this balance of like the human side of things, but then leveraging AI for certain parts of your business. And like you said, like I'm in a program and I'm trying to figure it out. Doesn't mean you're like 100% in and doing all the things. It's like, well, how could this look for me? Or how could this simplify things for me? Or what would this, how could this support my team? Or how could this save us time? And I'm right there with you. I feel like I know enough to be dangerous, but like not enough to be like
people are
really
build
like locked in on it.
And I'm like, no, I'm not selling that yet. We're not there yet.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, this was so good. So as we wrap up, one action that our listeners could do in the next 24 hours. Give us some words of wisdom here, Holly.
I mean, I would find a micro partnership for the next month, right? They're so fun. It's going to make you feel great. You're going to get some momentum. You're going to have a great conversation. And I mean, that's what you should do. And follow up.
So good. And follow up. Speaking of follow up, I think you have a little gift for us and we need to know where to find you online. Maybe not on social.
Yeah.
Where do we connect with you and learn more?
So we have a workshop that teaches you your custom antisocial strategy. So it's very customized to you, your audience, what you like to do. It's just hollymariehaynes.com/workshop. And it will actually give you one of our GPTs that will help you calculate the return on investment and what you need with this antisocial strategy. And so it's really cool. It like walks you through all the different types of ways that you can use your strategy and what the best next steps are. And so you can take what you learned here and that micro partnership and then apply it to your long-term strategy.
Yay. Oh, so good. Okay, we will link to that in the show notes so everyone can find you and get their hands on that workshop and check it out. This was incredible. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, washing your hair and like showing up camera ready, all the things because it's podcast day. No, in all seriousness, this has been so fun and I've loved partnering with you over this last year and I can't wait to do more together. So thank you for being here, Holly.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Bye. This episode is sponsored by CintShare. CintShare is the #1 social media scheduler for direct sellers and loved by creators in any industry. It's truly your one-stop shop for all things social. Join hundreds of thousands of social sellers and entrepreneurs who turn to CintShare for free social media training and resources. Get started today with your free 30-day trial at moderndirectseller.com/CintShare.